It's time for the View in Your Mirror podcast. I'm Katie Harms, and along with Lisa Rubin, we help you check in and curate the best possible you and the best view in your mirror. We share tips, tricks, and strategies from our 35 plus years in our respective industries. We talk about your day from morning to night and everything in between. We share our uniqueness, relish in our shared experiences. Along the way, we share conversation with fabulous people who give us their own thought-provoking insights. So come along as we help you hone the best view in your mirror.
Lisa.
Katie.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good. Yeah,
you look really good. I mean, you're not showing your age.
I did a mask yesterday, so I'm glad it worked.
We are 100. Wait. We have 100 episodes.
I know. Isn't that fantastic, Katie? When I saw that come in through the email from our podcast provider, I was like, well, aren't we just thriving?
I'm feeling pretty good for 100.
I guess I am too.
Besides turning 100 and feeling really great about it, we have some sponsors we want to thank who've come along the way. First and foremost, our presenting sponsor, Rustica, and the whole Jester Concepts group. It is easy to talk about Rustica Bakery. 2 locations, Edina, right in Southdale Mall, over by Vide Maxka, right where Lake and Minnetonka Boulevard come together. Both incredible parking, which I'm all about, easy in and out and efficiencies, and lunches. You can order ahead. Phenomenal coffee, teas, everything. Like if you have a coffee date, you need a coffee date or a quick meeting or whatnot, easy in and out, great places.
I agree.
Yeah. So we really want to thank them. And now let's talk about what it feels like to be 100. I think the world is our oyster.
Okay.
I'm looking for that, was that a little grasping at straws?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Katie, is you and I just jumped into it and we keep going every day, every month, and we don't look back. We just keep moving forward. We weren't counting episodes.
Now, I do think we look back because we have looked back. So I'm going to correct you on that. If you will.
Well, we've laughed about looking back. We
look back, right? Because we look back to say, wow, we've had some really incredible sponsors, the guests that we've had. So those look backs are like you're looking back at, your favorite jeans that you don't want to wear anymore because
they don't fit. Or they're 100.
Yeah. What type of jeans should we be wearing at 100?
Well, we can have that conversation another time.
It's amazing to me. We do this. We all do this with our kids, with our I really can't believe sometimes when I think I'm closer to 70 than I am to 60. Some of those milestones in your life, and you think about, I remember when my oldest daughter was 15 years old, and we had some friends over who were friends from high school. Their kids and our kids grew up together. And I remembered pulling out our yearbooks, our high school yearbooks, and laughing. And the kids are laughing at us. And I remember thinking to myself, my gosh, my kids are closer to the age that we were in this yearbook than we are. Like it's this realization that, time stops for no one. And if we're fortunate enough to continue to be on this side of the soil, we're pretty dang fortunate.
I agree with that, but I try not to think about age. I work very hard at that for myself because then it kind of freaks me out.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I think, do we maybe need to shift the way you come into that? Because again, look at how fortunate we are. And I think too, having had a pretty significant chronic condition for many years myself, I'm not talking about you, coming through that. And so I don't take a day for granted. And so the number is just a number. It's a data point. The number is a data point. It's like the weight on your scale is a data point.
I agree.
It all fits together to produce who you are in any given moment. That also shifts and changes, which is super exciting.
It is. And I just had like this moment when I saw that email. It's like 100 episodes. Wow, that's great. And Katie, our podcast is thriving. We're excited. We have all these incredible guests still wanting to come on our podcast. We haven't really had issues with that.
No, I think we've had one no.
I don't ever remember someone actually saying no. I think that the person.
Actually, you're right. We had one
they just couldn't make it work.
Well, we had one no response. No matter what I did to reach out, we had one no response.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Took that as a no.
Or they didn't read their email, or they had someone else reading their email and decided it was a no. It's just really wonderful.
It's been a trip. It really has been a trip. And I mean, next to my husband, you've been my most significant relationship.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we've had our days. We've had our moments.
The kids might have other thoughts on that too. But honestly, I have to say, because we've shared clients, right? And I am continually I am your biggest fan. I need to tell you, I'm your biggest fan. You are the magic. You are the secret weapon. You're not so secret for a lot of people who do talk about you. But, there are those who don't, and that's fine. But you are the magic bullet. You just have this fun, serious way of getting to your point quickly, which is, we are the yin and the yang. I sit and look at us and I think, in stature, in coloring, in personality, and it's just been so fun. It's been frustrating as hell at times for both of us.
I know, but that's what makes it work, Katie. And I say that to you all the time. It's like, if you and I were the same, we'd have a very boring podcast.
Yeah, it'd be a boring podcast. And I actually say that to the world, right? Wouldn't it be a boring world if we were all the same? There's just so much interest in learning the differences in people and your clients. First of all, the fact that you've had them for years, many of them, and even those that have dropped out because they've changed what they're doing or whatnot. It's like, oh my gosh, Lisa was my wardrobe gets home for years. And you could just feel the pride in that and knowing. And I think it's really when you grasp that you don't have to be perfect at everything. I mean, I'm good at the segments of things that I do, but wow, I can really use the help in this realm. And that's really what the podcast is about too, is giving people glimpses into what other people do to say.
Yeah, and giving them, as we say on our podcast in the beginning, tips and tricks. Mm-hmm. And that's with everything that maybe you think about in a day or in a week, or the challenges you have, or all of that. We try to, each time we release a podcast, it's with somebody that's going to offer something that people might want to hear about. Mm-hmm. And then there's the two of us. And how about you, Katie? I mean, you're very good at what you do, but you do a lot of things and you do them very well. And I have sent you many clients in your space, and you make people feel, I don't know the right word right now, but once you do what I call your magic, because I use that word with my clients, they understand how important the process of thinking about your space is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that many people don't take the time to think about. People are forced to think about their clothes because they can't get up and walk around naked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so they have to put clothes on.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not so good, but sometimes they're good, but whatever. But your space, you don't have to let a lot of people know
what's living behind your cabinets.
What's living behind not only your cabinets, what's living under your bed, people. Right. I mean, just think of a college dorm room. How many kids who go to college for the first time on their own keep a perfectly neat dorm room?
Right.
Other than my daughter, Shelby, it's very unusual, right? Because they don't know how to do that.
Well, and varying degrees. And I think that's part of it too. And guess what? Let's face it, you get busy living your life. So unless you really have a thought process around stuff, you should be busy living your life. So for me, it's the strategies of how to make it easy so that you spend less time having to worry about the stuff and more time living your life.
And also looking at the stuff, because even let's take it as the closet, not even you designing the closet, but when I come in and look at somebody's closet and people are completely freaked out. Before, I mean, I do a lot of virtual now. I did it before, but I do more now because people love that I do virtual closets because I don't have to step into their house.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it wouldn't matter where I go, who I talk to, whose house I go into. It could be a perfectly clean, organized house, but the minute I step my foot in their door, can I get you a cup of coffee? I didn't have time to clean up the dishes. There's always things that they say before we even get to why I'm there, right? And I always say, remember, I'm here to look at your clothes in your closet. I don't need a cup of coffee. And virtual, that helps a little bit because they put me right in their closet.
Sure.
But once we do that whole closet thing, the feeling that they get and also the expression on their face, they're overwhelmed when I walk in the door. And then when I leave, they're like, oh, this was amazing. And it's not because of everything I said. It's what I got rid of.
Mm-hmm. I think part of what you got rid of maybe was to help get rid of, this word came up. I was talking to Nancy Lyons, who was
a guest on our podcast.
Who was a phenomenal guest on our podcast and is just a really phenomenal woman. I talked about an event that we've got coming up, and we want to talk about. She said, are you going to talk about the shame about all the stuff that people have? And I thought, wow, she named it out loud. The thing that people more often than not, even if they can't describe what it is, it's embarrassment or whatnot. And we're not talking hoarding. And what I think is people need to shift their thought process on this, because what they've done is they've collected a lifetime of things. And it is not normal behavior for people to say, okay, I'm going to spend Saturday in my closet. Because for most people, you'd rather do anything
than do that.
Honestly, you can have the nicest clothes, you can have the nicest closet in the world, but you're just not, because you are busy living your life. So now to bring it into for me, it's never judgment. It's never judgment. It's like,
never.
Ooh, this is let's get you on track thinking about this differently. And then we come up with the plan. And some people find themselves in the middle of all of a sudden something happens. All of a sudden there's a new job that requires a move. All of a sudden there's the decision that, no, we're downsizing. All of a sudden there's our parents are sick and really need us, and we're spending all our time there. And now we're helping them go through. And how can we take the dread out of that? Because that's difficult, right? When you have to learn who your parents are as people beyond them being your parents and see them in a space that's hard and difficult and transitioning. So all of these things, how do you keep your wits about you to move yourself forward to the next space so that you can continue to live your big, wonderful, full life?
And let me also tell you, Katie, I didn't tell you this. Last week, I was at my daughter's house and my granddaughter, and Shelby's like, Mom, let's see if we can get Audrey to come upstairs and go through her clothes because she's grown so much. I said, we're going to do my closet system with Audrey.
Oh, with your granddaughter? That's so great.
And my granddaughter, is going to be 4 in a month. And so she had no idea what I was saying, but I made it, I actually talked to her about it as I would talk to all my clients, because we're really into counting and we have numbers and, I have a system. I had her attention for about 10 minutes.
Which is good for a 4-year-old.
Yes. And so my daughter and I sat on the floor in her closet that you designed, and I start holding up her dresses, or Shelby actually did. I said, okay, Audrey, I told her what 1, 2, 3, and 4 are. I said, what number is this dress? She goes, that's a 3. And Shelby and I just lose it because it was a 3. She never liked it. She never wore it. I said, okay. And I take it off the hanger. We actually have this on videotape. And I threw it down on the floor. For 10 minutes, we went through all the stuff and she would stand there and I'd hold up the leggings to make sure they still fit her. Okay, calls me Coco. Okay, Coco, that's a 2 or that's a 1. Like, she got it. And we got through a lot, and we had a little pile on the floor to donate. And I said, who do you want to donate this to? Because a lot of Shelby's friends have had kids and she knows about them. I think I want to give that to, and she would name everybody. And I actually have this on video. So now fast forward, I don't remember. I was not there, but we FaceTimed. And she told me about some legging or sweatshirt or something that she got. And I said, Audrey, what number is going to be? What is that going to be in your class? She goes, oh, Coco, that's a 1. I said, so guess what? I can teach anybody from 4 all the way up. It was so funny. It was so fun. I'll have to send you the video.
I would love to see that video. What a sweet story. What a sweet story. You know what also is really cool to me? I've seen with my girls and grandkids, and I love how they do not keep stuff. They go through and they cycle it through. They give it to their friends to
Yeah, but that came from you, Katie. You helped them with that.
I just think generationally, there's a lot of, you just said it with your granddaughter. Who are you donating it to? The friends that have had kids. And they're going, I'm sure, I mean, a level of organization, of course, those are my proud mom moments when I see how well each of them do. And I guess the best thing you can do is when your kids aren't encumbered by the things that you trip over, right? They'll have their own stuff, I'm sure, which will be therapy for years to come having me as their mom. But I do think from an organizational standpoint, just the thought process and what they're teaching their kids too. That's really fun to see.
That was great. Sorry, I got off on a tangent, but when you
no,
started
I love the
describing it, I
tangent.
forgot that I did that.
I love the tangent, and that is such a sweet story. I think that's I don't know how Shelby is in terms of having her kids on social media, but that really should be one of your social media posts.
I actually think I'll have to look at it. I actually think you could hear her voice, but not see her.
Perfect.
I don't know. We'll see. If we can post it, we will.
Yes, that absolutely needs to be posted. Those are the heartwarming things, and those are just the little things that you just get to revel in.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about something very exciting for both of us.
I'm very excited to talk about it, Katie.
Very exciting. Stay tuned.
You are invited to make your way to a beautifully inventive and delightful store in the Galleria called Sweet Ivy. Becky Leffler's inspiration for the store comes from her vacations in Marco Island, where she relished in the sensory delights, intoxicating aromas, vivid colors, and exquisite products in the local gift shops. She has gone on to curate a beautiful selection of apparel, shoes, accessories, and gifts born of her love for unique products and her unwavering belief in her vision, brought to life and cared for by a fabulous staff. Feminine, chic, pieces that will elevate and stay in your wardrobe for years to come. Brands like Tyler Bow from Rhode Island, Spartina 449, and Magic Pants by Lise. Not to be forgotten is Littles by Sweet Ivy, their predominantly children's store and home to Barefoot Dreams, which you need to experience. Give yourself the gift of this store in the Galleria. Shop Sweet Ivy. ShopSweetIvy.com.
Hey, Lisa. So we're back. We talked about our presenting sponsor earlier, and along this way to get to 100, you don't come into 100 looking this good without some support.
That's true. And a good bra, Katie.
And a good bra, Lisa, and a good bra. There you go. We gotta, you know what? I think we should make that our goal, kind of like hidden pictures and all that. We have to have a bra mention in every single podcast. It has to come.
Yeah, we have to have subliminal bra mention.
I don't know if you can be subliminal.
You know, like they say that in some of the kids' musics and the Disney music, there's subliminal messaging. Mine is about the bra.
Yes. And mine truly is the whole WWLD.
WWLD.
What would Lisa do?
Oh, what would Lisa do? That's cute.
Yes, for sure. In the morning, every morning, okay, are the girls in the right place?
Yeah. I did it this morning when I got dressed. I had washed my bra. I had it readjust.
So I will tell another quick story in chatting with Nancy Lyons when I ran into her. We had a happy hour and I said, "You look great." And she said, "But I did not get a new bra." The first thing she said to me.
Because anyone that's listened to that podcast knows that I put a little shame on her, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah. It's okay.
I mean, you must have instinctively known that she could shoulder it.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
All right. Well, let's talk about what has us super excited.
This is very exciting. And it came out of a particular podcast with a podcast guest. And I shocked the daylights out of you at the end of that podcast, didn't I, Katie? It came from nowhere.
It sure did.
So a little background, we were recording with Julie Okel, and I was just absolutely fascinated by what she does. I thought she did an outstanding job on the podcast. And at the very end, as we were saying goodbye, I said, you know what? I think we need to do a speaking series. And I thought Katie was going to fall off her chair because have I ever done that before? No.
Oh. And I think, you know, it makes me fondly think back to some of the first podcasts that we did.
With our masks on because it was COVID and I talked like I was a robot. I did, didn't I?
You certainly did. But you had never done any kind of radio. You had never done, I mean, you had done public speaking, but that's a little bit different. And
that's very different. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a whole new realm for you. It does take a while. But Julie Okel, she is an adult learning specialist. She takes people through thinking about their life reimagined. So we got together as designers, the three of us, talking about the possibility because Lisa had this idea. And so we have created an event called Inspiring Your Shift, Designing Your Third Chapter. And interestingly, as I think back to podcasts that we've done with a lot of women talking about how they got to where they've gotten to or what they'd be doing and with the clients that you and I both have, they are in transitional phases. And maybe it's because of where we're at or because of what we do. You know, you have seen nothing but transition, a lot of transition since COVID, really, right? How wardrobes, how people have gone to way more online work, online meetings. That's brought a whole nother, you were very quick to recognize that. Early on, that really was the foundation for our podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
And did you get it? Foundation?
Anyway. Good one, Katie. I got to remember that one.
That was the foundation. And I had the building blocks to put in place for that foundation. And so really, we felt that the three of us aligned nicely. So this is a fresh view with practical, relatable strategies for repurposing our lives. So many people are in this shift. Julie has done extensive research and extensive writing on this. And it's the Gen X, for us, really the focus is on the Gen X woman and beyond.
Yes.
And it's go ahead.
And what I also tell people is that we all have our lane but in each one of our lanes, it will help every woman create better intention and inspire them to move forward. Because I think in all three of our areas, people can get stuck and frozen. Mm-hmm. And so if you give them a little bit of tips and tricks, just like our podcast, it will help them navigate what they want to do.
For sure. And the crossover in those lanes is really, again, inspiring. And if you've gotten to the point in your life where you can say, hey, I am worthy of a half day learning something new or learning how to reimagine it, right? As a salesperson, most of my life, you'd go to sales training and you're really not learning anything new. You're just learning how to look at it a little differently, right? You might be learning new things, but and what it does is it gets you all excited and pumped up and you're renewed. And this is truly for you, that woman who is looking for maybe a different way of looking at things. So Julie she's a possibility partner. She's going to talk about mindset, steps to navigate from rinse and repeat to fulfillment and purpose. Lisa, you are a wardrobe consultant. you're going to talk about strategies to repurpose and refresh your closet along with your lifestyle. And I am a living spaces specialist. So the areas you are in. So I'm going to talk about actionable steps to help retool, enhance, and invigorate your life by the spaces that surround you. The first shift that needs to happen is the idea that you're worth spending this time on yourself.
Exactly.
And
It's like going, it's like people who decide to spend a half a day at a spa, right? And
That's
go get a
exactly
massage or go get a facial or
right.
all of that. It's, you come out of it and you're a little more refreshed.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We have sponsors that are helping us along this route. Rustica, of course, is a big one, Jester Concepts. This event is happening on Wednesday, May 21st at Butcher and the Boar. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sweet Ivy Anderson Cabinets is our sponsor, along with Rustica, Sweet Ivy, and we're hoping to add a couple more. Anderson Cabinets, I'm excited for you to get to know them a little bit better. We're just beyond excited.
I'm very excited. I think this is going to be fun. It's going to be new for us, and we'll see where it goes, Katie.
It could be our inaugural event.
It could be.
As we've been talking about this, we've really thought about that intentionally. Is this something that has legs?
And I think it does. I think it's a good possibility. And I'm just going to take us way back to when we were thinking about doing the podcast. And it always makes me smile and laugh and feel good. But we sat down with a PR person, interviewing them to see if they wanted to help us with the podcast. We had zero money. So, of course, we couldn't hire them. But she asked us, what was our intention? Or what was our goal? And this was in the very, very beginning. And you and I looked at each other and we really didn't have a firm answer. And I don't remember, it must have been you, not me. And you said, because one day we're going to be famous.
Oh, no, that was all you. It was
you. Me. It was me.
That was you, because that was another. There's been a couple times where you shocked me to my core. That was you.
Okay, that was my humor. But every so often when we're having a moment and we're trying to figure something out or a little stressful here and a little stressful there, I always look at you and go, Katie, remember, one day we're going to be famous.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our little thing that we say to each other.
The beauty in this has been to the alignment and having this is a passion project for us. This is really from the heart. Wanting, really, isn't it all about helping enhance people's lives and make them better?
Yes.
And how better to do that than to continue to share what we've been fortunate enough to hone our skills in over many years. Many more than five. 5 for the podcast, though. 5
for the podcast, 41 for me in July.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that?
I can't. It goes back to the number, the data point.
The data point, yes.
Data point. It's a pretty good data point. We started the podcast. You talked about getting a facial recently.
Oh, my mask treatment.
Oh, your mask. You did a mask. Sorry. Yes.
I did not do a facial. I did a mask treatment.
You know what? I know a way that you could really become a millionaire overnight.
Me?
Yes.
Tell me.
If you could just figure out how to have some sort of an alarm that on your face when
where's this going?
Whisker decides to pop out.
Oh my God, yes.
Just out of nowhere, like nowhere. Like that
happened to me the other day. I was putting my mascara on and I'm like, oh my God, how long has that been there?
Right. Well, it can't be long, because I have a very good mirror with a very good magnifying that I look in daily. And all of a sudden I'll be driving in the car, which is the second best place to capture
the whisker. Yeah.
I am telling you, it used to be called a beauty mark. I have a mole on my face, which has lightened over the years. I actually had a dermatologist ask me if I wanted removed, and I was incensed. I said, that's my beauty mark. Anyway, there is one that shows up there, and there is no rhyme nor reason. There is no rhyme nor reason on timing. I can't figure out if it's a hormonal shift. I don't know what it is. And it's not just this little tiny fuzzy thing that sticks out. It is, and you know me because you've talked to me about this, that I touch my face a lot.
Yeah, all the time.
It's not something you think that's a necessarily good thing, But maybe that's why I'm instinctively doing, because like I'll be in a meeting and all of a sudden here it is. I should name her as she's loud and proud. Hello, I'm here. And it is great and it is coarse. How does this happen?
I don't know, Katie. I don't have the answer, but I understand.
That is how you are going to make your quick million.
What? To figure out how?
Figure out how to have an alert system when something shows up on your face, like scan it in the morning. You're standing in your bathroom mirror and there's a scan and it goes do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and identifies where it is so you can pick it out.
Technology and me are super close friends.
Well, we have lighted mirrors. Why can't we have there's the red light therapy. How come there can't be the identification of errant hairs?
Well, some people don't care.
Well, in some cultures, they don't pull them.
Yeah. Okay.
That took a lane that you weren't quite expecting.
No, it did. You're right. That was not on my notes today, Katie.
We probably won't be talking about that at our event.
No. I don't want to. No. We have a certain limited amount of time and limited amount of space. So maybe leave that one out.
We'll leave that one out. But
Okay.
You know what? My goal in life is always to get a chuckle out of you. And I have no problem picking on myself to do so.
You have succeeded in that. And thank you.
Very good. You're so welcome. Now, tickets to our event. We've told you about the event. If you are interested in this event, inspiringyourshift.eventbrite.com is how you get to tickets and more information. We would love to see you there. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, 8 o'clock in the morning. There is valet parking.
And it's complimentary.
And there will be a light breakfast, lots of great conversation, lots of great information. We hope you join. We would love to see you there. For any additional information on us, theviewinyourmirror.com. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are excited to meet you in person for our inaugural event. In the meantime, when you look in the mirror, have a little chuckle. Think about your errant friends that want to show up on your face unannounced whenever they feel like it. And hopefully that gives you a chuckle and sets you on a path of fun and enjoyment for your day, knowing that we're all in this together, but that you are the only you and you are the best you. Until next time.